right, hi. Thank you so much to everybody who's here. Before we get started, I just wanted to acknowledge the crazy times that are happening right now and let you know whether you're on this webinar and you're a customer or whether you're not a customer yet and you've been experiencing looting or vandalism or you've had to board up your store. I just wanted to let you know that we're here for you as a company. I'm here for you as a fifth generation and however we can help, you don't hesitate to reach out to me or anybody on, you can submit a case in our company. And also, if you're looking to get in touch with vendors or anything like that, you can reach out to me directly and I can try to put you in touch with somebody. So with that, we'll go ahead and dive in. Again, thank you so much for being here.
Thanks so much, Tally. And yes, thank you to everybody for joining us today. We know that during this time of unrest, there are a lot of things that are probably on your mind. So we appreciate your time and know that we have something valuable for you today. So what we'll be focusing on today is the launch of our latest innovation, which is usedguns.com. And what we're going to cover today is an overview. What is Used Guns? What's the current functionality on that site? What types of products can you be buying and selling on that site? We also want to talk to you about the long-term vision, give you some stats around performance to date since we launched just about a week ago. And then we know that we've been getting some consistent questions. And so Tally's going to go ahead and answer some of those FAQs. And then as always, at the end, we'll go ahead and open it up to an open forum Q&A to make sure you get all your questions answered. A few housekeeping items. We are recording today's webinar as always, and so we will send you a copy of this recording. If there's anything that you want to talk about more in depth with Tally or any one of our team members as we go through the Used Guns overview, certainly feel free to get in touch. And then lastly, and you're usually very great at this, we love and encourage participation. So feel free to put any of your questions, your comments, or your thoughts in the chat, and we'll make sure to be monitoring that as we go throughout the presentation today.
So before I dive into an overview, I just wanted to share some of our 2020 vision and strategy as we were talking about this in late 2019. So 2020 was really a year to open up into the firearms vertical a little bit more. And we have a lot of releases this year coming that are specific to that strategy. And the launch of usedguns.com was our first dive into the firearms vertical specifically. And so usedguns.com is a two-way marketplace. And for you, for our customers, for pawnbrokers, what that means is another channel for you to sell firearms on that's seamless and 100% integrated within the system. And so what that means is there's no extra effort to posting, there's no extra effort to collecting payment, to doing feedback, to processing returns. Everything that happens from it's all going to be handled through Bravo really seamlessly for you. If you're currently using Buy It or eBay or company branded, this process is exactly the same and there's no additional effort. From a consumer perspective, we're really trying to create the fastest, safest online firearm transaction. And so right now we have a very transactional website, and in the upcoming phases, we'll be moving this more from a transactional website into a lifestyle brand and a community of 2A supporters. And so I'm going to stay a little bit tight-lipped on that for now, but just know we've got some exciting things rolling out specific to used guns over the rest of 2020 and into 2021. Our brand mission, it's very straightforward. And like I mentioned, we are really trying to transform the way that people buy guns online. And so usedguns.com's mission is to provide Americans the opportunity to exercise their free arms in the digital world. So we're going to talk a little bit about vision. Kathleen, I'm going to kick it over to you.
Sure. So as Tally mentioned, we're not going to give everything away. There are things we're staying tight-lipped on, which hopefully is an indication to you that we have some very exciting things that we're rolling out, just not ready to talk about them publicly. Some things we can tell you though is that we are partnered with a very high quality and professional agency partner who is working very, very closely with us to think through a very smart strategy to roll this out. So that, as Tally mentioned, the experience for you as a user of usedguns.com is impeccable. That it becomes, an incredible new revenue stream for your business, and so that we begin to transition from, as Tally mentioned, a very kind of transactional website right now, which is phase one, into something that is a really exciting community-based brand, right? Where consumers are driven and very highly engaged in that site. Ultimately, right, a place where they'd be selling, or excuse me, buying more of your inventory. So as you know, May 2020 was our phase one. This is a customer only launch, so it's exclusive, and we're essentially, functioning on a beta site right now. It's working very well, but it's phase one, and we know it's phase one. In Q3 of 2020, we'll roll into phase two, and so what we're going to start doing is revising the site itself to make it less transactional, a bit more community based, improve the user experience in a smart way, and we'll begin expanding the market to which we offer this to. In Q4, we'll continue to make enhancements to that e-com site to push the lifestyle brand even more and really engage firearm community members. And we'll continue with additional market expansion as well. And of course, we're looking at things, 18, 24, 36 months down the road. So mostly we just wanted to communicate to you that we have a vision for this, and we're working with some very smart individuals who are helping us and guiding us along the way. So big things in store. Anything you'd add, Tally, to that?
Nope, that's great.
Okay.
So on the performance side, everything is, for being 1 week into this, things are going great, and we've already exceeded a lot of our internal milestones that we had. So we already have 60 companies that have signed up and are listing on usedguns.com. That's 103 stores total with 8,061 inventory items, and that number growing every single day. So we're off to a really awesome start. And if you are already selling on used guns, thank you for being an early adopter. This launched and we scaled it really, really quickly as far as the number of inventory items for sale. So thank you for being a part of that. And we are so excited to see more stores come online. So now I'm going to dive into some of the most frequently asked questions that we're getting. Of course, the first is, what are the fees? And so I wanted to walk through this really step by step with you. The first is that there's no setup costs and there's free unlimited listings. So you can list as many items as you want on for sale on used guns as you want, and it's totally free to do that. In Bravo, you just click that little box and you're going to list it. Now for firearm sales specific to firearms, and we define a firearm as anything that belongs in your gun book, we are doing free auctions. So if you sell something on auction, that's going to be 0%. It's totally free to sell firearms on auction on usedguns.com. For fixed price, we're going to charge 3.5% of the total sale amount, and that includes shipping after your item has sold. And again, that's for firearm sales. Everything else, like sporting goods and some of the other categories that we have for sale on used guns, is going to be at the 8% of the total sale amount, including shipping after the item has sold. That amount, that percentage matches what BIA charges, and I'll explain why that's the same. And then the last thing is we're going to have a UG bump function that's coming in phase 3, where you're going to be able to bump your listings up and set your own ad rate as a percentage of your item's final sale price. So that's going to give you more flexibility on where you show up on the page and how your listing is prioritized. So that's a little detail on the fees. I'm going to pause for a minute. This is the most common asked question, and I want to make sure that I'm giving you time to go in the chat or go in the Q&A and ask any questions related to fees before I move on. Any questions on fees? Okay, It looks pretty quiet. I'll keep my eye out. So let's move on to the second FAQ, which is how I sign up. So the first thing is you've got to be a Bravo customer to sign up. I know we have a lot of people on here that are not yet Bravo customers. Phase 1 is for customers only, and you can simply submit a case or give us a call. You'll want to sign up with Blue Dog. More on that on the next FAQ. And then the next piece is getting your items ready to be for sale online. That means taking photographs and prepping them for your e-com sale. And then you're going to start listing. On Buy It, the process is going to be exactly the same. If you're not listing on Buy It, if you don't want to list on Buy It and you just want to list on Used Gems, we are all ready to train you and get you comfortable with the listing fulfillment feedback process. So just submit a ticket and we will jump right on that. On the question on, I can't hear you on questions, the attendees, you're on mute. So you'll have to type your questions for now, and then I'll respond to them in audio. Okay, the next question is, do you need Blue Dog? So no, you do not need Blue Dog to sell on usedguns.com. We do highly recommend it. And the reason why is because we really see more shopping cart abandonment and friction for online customers when they can't just make the payment online. Now, if you choose Blue Dog and you just want to list items for sale and have your consumers contact you direct to facilitate the sale, you can do that. And at the end of the checkout, instead of having the option to put in their payment information, they'll have an option that's called Pay Store Direct. They're going to contact you directly. You're going to see it in Bravo. You'll have to make contact over the phone and then coordinate that transaction that way. So the short answer is no. The long answer is no, but I highly recommend that you do sign up for Blue Dog. You don't need to use Blue Dog in your point of sale, in your store, to use it online. So you can take advantage of Blue Dog in the different platforms that we have, whether you want to use it for usedguns.com or mobile pawn or point of sale or all of them. So we created this integration with a lot of flexibility so that if you just want to use it for e-com, you can do that.
Callie, sorry to jump in here. I'm wondering if, just to make a suggestion, you may want to shut video off. I think that there's, the Wi-Fi is not supporting the audio very well right now for me and some of the other attendees. Yeah, that may just help.
Is that better?
It probably will be. I think from time to time you were cutting in and out, so I think that should probably help.
Okay, I am going, should I repeat that slide, Kathleen?
Yeah, why don't we have time. Why don't we go ahead and repeat that? Some of the comments about audio came in during that slide.
Okay, so the short answer is no, you don't need Blue Dog. The long answer is no, you don't need Blue Dog, but we do highly recommend having Blue Dog for at least usedguns.com. Now, when we created the Blue Dog integration, we made it really flexible so that you can turn it on for e-commerce and you can turn it off for point of sale. So if you're not quite ready to jump all in with Blue Dog, that's totally fine. You can just configure it for usedguns.com and for mobile pawn. Now, if you choose to opt out of Blue Dog, you can still list all of your firearms on usedguns.com, but at the end of the transaction, your customers will have the option to do what's called Pay Store Direct. And that means that you guys are going to facilitate the transaction offline and over the phone. That does cause shopping cart abandonment issues and overall friction for your online customers. And basically, that's just frustrating when you get to the end of a transaction and you realize you can't actually process it. The Blue Dog processing fees are totally up to you and Blue Dog. So that's something that we can put you in contact with Blue Dog and you can negotiate that with them specifically. And it has to do with the processing fees and not a percentage of the transaction. So that's a little bit of info on that. Can you hear me better?
We can, yep. And I'm thinking there's some great questions coming in too, so we may just want to stop here for a moment. So the one question here is there a way to process via PayPal?
So that's a great question. And let me roll back in history a little bit up to answer that. We used to have firearms for sale on Buya.com, and PayPal took a really hard stance on this back in August, where they said, as a company policy and not documented anywhere, they no longer allow firearms and PayPal to be in the same website at all. And so useguns.com is now a PayPal free marketplace. And that's because PayPal was systematically shutting down any accounts that was selling firearms and had PayPal, even if you weren't transacting firearms through PayPal. So that's the way that usedguns.com is going to work. You can't use an outside credit card processor at this time. That's just at this time. This integration here, and so it's a really complex integration because we have e-commerce, mobile, and point of sale. So for now, you'll need BlueDog. Again, you can just add BlueDog as a processor for useguns.com. You don't have to switch away from all of your existing processors. And then to answer another question, do you need tech support to set it up? No, you just need tech support to help flip the switch to start selling on used guns. So you can just submit a ticket through the Solution Center, and we can flip those switches and just let you know, okay, now you're ready and your firearms are online. So it's as simple as that. The question on additional fees when bumping, that is going to be as part of the phase 3 rollout. And the way that that's going to work is you're going to be able to set your own ad rate as a percentage of your item's final sale price. And there will be a sliding scale there on what percentage I'm going to pay to bump that listing. So that's the way that the fee bump will, or the bump will work to prioritize your listings.
And then Tally, there's a kind of a comment and a question in the Q&A saying just, 3.5% isn't bad, but why include shipping?
That's what we did a lot of market research on the success fee, and we wanted to be really, really competitive. And we actually, that's the reason why we decided to do 0% on free auctions, because we wanted to be the best price for auctions. But that seemed to be industry standard when we were looking at not only firearm sites, but just general e-commerce sites. They do include the shipping. Good question. All right, I'm going to move into to sell on Buya. So the answer to that is no. You don't have to sell on Buya to sell on usedguns.com if you're only listing firearms. If you're listing categories beyond firearms, those are also going to show up on Buya. So if you're listing something in the sporting equipment category, that's going to go for sale in both channels, Buya and usedguns.com. On the fulfillment piece, you won't know the difference. On the success fee piece, you won't know the difference. It's all the same. And so if you have these other categories that you want to sell, it will go for sale in the 2 marketplaces instead of 1. But again, if you don't want to sell on Buya, then you'll want to just limit the categories that you're selling on used guns just to the firearms. Your offers for used guns will be visible in Shopkeeper, to answer that question. So that wraps up the most commonly asked questions that we've gotten from tech support and in marketing and sales. But your guys' questions are awesome, so we'll just stick around and continue to answer whatever questions you might have. We really tried to keep today's webinar short because we know that there's a lot of other distractions going on outside of this. So if you're going to jump off, I just wanted to say thank you so much for being here. We're here for you. You can contact me personally anytime if you need assistance, especially during right now. My email's tally@buya.com, or you can call our support line at 888-407-6287. So to answer the transaction volumes, we're doing okay. And what I mean by that is we've already exceeded our initial goals for usedguns.com, and I can share the specifics of this. Because it's still phase 1, we haven't begun really doing a ton of advertising and marketing yet because it's still in beta. So over the next month, we will start feeding the inventory where applicable into Google. Of course, you can't feed firearms in, but we can feed all of the accessories and sporting goods in. We've started advertising in a few other channels. We've got our Instagram up. We actually have a lot of followers already. And so we've started doing smaller advertising and marketing pushes right now. But between phase 1 and phase 2, we'll start to ramp marketing. You'll start to see a lot more sales. So on the NICS and ATF question, so this is going to work the same way that it used to work in BIA. And so the sale is going to be facilitated from FFL. And so you're going to ship your firearm to an FFL holder, and then they're going to process the NICS, and it will go into their gun book and out of their gun book. So that's how that's going to work on the regulatory piece. We are going to be totally streamlining that specific piece in phase 2. So there's less back and forth between you and other FFLs, and we're going to make that really simple. But for right now, that's how it's going to work. Yeah, for processing the background checks, you're going to facilitate that offline. So similarly to the way that you currently do it in Bravo when you're selling firearms. There's no way for us to integrate that piece yet into phase 1. But again, our mission is to create the safest, fastest firearm transaction on the internet. Are very much tied into that mission, and so that is definitely coming. Are there any other questions? Thanks, Noel. We're super excited for this launch. Again, thank you to all of our early adopters who just jumped right on this the day that we launched it. I think it's amazing. We've had so many people start listing so quickly, and we really, really appreciate that. This is just the beginning of firearms for Bravo, and we have another really awesome announcement coming in the next few weeks for July release. So stay tuned, stay engaged. We are totally sort of blasting off into this vertical specifically. So we're really excited. If you have any feedback or suggestions, we are all ears. So thank you so much for being here. We will go ahead and wrap it up.
Thank you so much, everyone. Have a great day.